To me, that kind of sounds like some bull. So speaking of some bull, we have the
Okay.
No Bulls tour. And for those who do not know, Scottie Pippen, a man who has been in the news for a lot of controversial reasons as of late, Horace Grant and Luc Longley, these individuals are going to be discussing 6 titles in 8 years.
Hmm.
They are in a partnership with Australia's National Basketball League, or National Basketball League. The
Hmm.
tour has began in Tasmania and will feature in Melbourne and Sydney. And they'll be talking about obviously the notorious 90s Bulls team led by, of course, Michael Jordan, the guy who they're probably going to be trashing in the Snow Bulls tour in light of his. This is really a response to his Last Dance documentary. Came out back in 2020, around that COVID time. So everybody was tuned in and they didn't like how they were portrayed on it. So this is going to be their time to give their side of the three-peat of the 6 titles in 8 years. And yeah, so Horace Grant is obviously saying this is a no BS tour, and he says he wants everybody to tune in, and you won't want to miss it. What are your thoughts on this, CW?
um, you know, I don't have a problem with it because with anything in life, there's three sides to every story. So there's Jordan's side, there's their side, and then there's the truth. So we've heard Jordan's side. We'll get their side, and somewhere in between will be the truth of what happened with those Bulls teams. But I just think it's a weird time to do this. Why not do it right after the documentary? Why not, they could have done that during the Ring of Honor thing. They could have just said, we're not showing up, but we're doing these dates to talk about, our side of the story. That's why we're not showing up to this, event. But I mean, it's just weird. And the biggest thing for me is as much smack talk or whatever they're going to talk about is fine. But the problem is it's not going to change anybody's legacy. It might hurt some of theirs slightly because people are like, well, why are you whining and crying? I mean, I don't know what they're going to say. I had another video, I had someone say they attended the event, so I was trying to get some information from them on what was all said and done, but I didn't get that in time. But I mean, I just think it's a weird thing to do, but they have their side of the story, so of course they have a right to tell it. And I mean, we enjoy locker room talk because we're not back there, so there could be some stuff that happened that could be really interesting. Will that devalue what Jordan did? Will that change the fact that some of them are 6-time champions, some of them are 3-time champions? In Horace Grant's case, he's a 4-time champion, one with the Lakers. Will that change that? No. And with that group together, they won. So I don't, so outside of them revealing that Jordan did some mass killings or something very illegal, I don't think he's going to change how people feel about his place in the as far as where he's ranked in the NBA. So I mean, I just think it's weird, but I mean, it's probably going to be interesting. I would like to hear it. I haven't seen any footage or anything from it, any sound bites, but I'd be interested to hear it. But I just think it's a weird time for them to come together to do that.
Yeah, so when I heard about this, at first I thought this was a joke. I thought this was somebody clickbaiting. And then, as we both watch Gil's Arena, they again bring up the topic about this No Bulls tour. And it's weird to me because you have three, great, or maybe not great, I'd say one great, maybe Horace Grant, I'd give him whatever I give him, maybe good, great, whatever you want to put him in.
He's a star. He was a star.
And so yeah, you got these three NBA, guys, and you would think if they announce anything that it would sell itself. You know, why are they going on this, whatever they were going on stage to promote their tour when these are retired NBA players? Their name alone should speak for itself, right? If they have some real traction, you got to think, you throw Michael Jordan's name in there, and if these players have any shred of credibility, which they apparently do not in the public's eyes, because these guys are going overseas to speak on a tour.
That's telling.
Everything that happened was in the United States. Why are you going overseas to promote this? And to me, obviously, it's more than just those three players. And just like they brought up on Gil's Arena, Kenyon Martin brought it up. You telling me only three guys on that team? Like, that was, that team had been through a lot of battles together, right? So if everybody had an issue with Jordan, whether there's leadership, some stuff that he did off the court that really ruffled some people the wrong way, or maybe just their portrayal in The Last Dance, only three guys had an issue, when he bashed some coaches and what they booed, Jerry Krause during that Ring of Honor. It's like, whatever the case may be, only three guys. That's very telling to me. And obviously, and even Gilbert Arenas said, I don't want to hear nothing you guys say about MJ if it led to a ring. And I echo those sentiments, because it's like, the ultimate goal for an NBA player is to win a championship, make some good money along the way, cement your legacy as whatever kind of player you want to be. You want to be a shooter, you want to be a defender, a scorer, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to develop to become, you need to achieve those goals. And I feel like for the most part, Scottie became who he wanted to become. Horace Grant did the same thing. I don't want to be mean to Luc Longley, but he was a big body, so he did his center duties. But I think all three of them achieved, though, seriously, though, I think they all achieved what they set out to achieve in the NBA. So it's kind of weird to me that now they want to come across I still don't know why they're overseas doing this, but they're going to give their side the reason. Story. But my thing is, why not make it a documentary just like The Last Dance? Call it the first dance or something. Call it the backup dance. I don't know. Yeah, but give your side to it with some facts, because what you don't want is just you three going word of mouth to I wouldn't say a massive audience, given the turnout that they had at their little announcement time. But what you don't want to say is, yo, you remember back this day, Jordan looked me off about 5 times, and then it made me depressed, and now I don't want to play basketball for the rest of this, the rest of the week. I don't want them to say something like crazy like that, where it's just like, it's going to be a waste of everybody's time.
And that's the weird part, because Luke never played with Horace. So them two together on stage, they didn't even play at the same time with Jordan. So I don't get that. But just a quick question for you in this, on this topic. Would you know who Luc Longley was if you didn't know that he was a Bull? Do you remember his Phoenix Suns run?
Heck no.
Do you remember his New York Knicks run?
I only know about him through 2K. And that's
okay. Well, there you go.
That's the only reason why I know Luc Longley. I'll keep it honest with you.
I mean, can you name another team Horace Grant played for?
He played for the Magic, right?
Okay. Yeah, he won a ring with the Lakers. That 2001 team. Okay, so exactly. So my point is, those guys wouldn't even be known if it wasn't for the guy that they have such problems with. And Scottie, I mean, yeah, he had an all right time in Portland, but nobody remembers his Houston Rockets run. I mean, nobody does. Nobody cares about it. They care about his Bulls run, and it's fine for them to want to tell their side of the story. And I mean, if they felt like they were wronged in that documentary, There's nothing wrong with it, but at the end of the day, you got to realize that's the guy that's the reason you're able to be on that stage. And what was crazy is Horace had Jordans on. So
yeah, that is so yeah.
I mean, how can you go after somebody that you're basically putting money in their pocket? So I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, locker rooms, I've never been in an NBA locker room. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I've played basketball. You know, there's players you don't get along with, players that rub you the wrong way, players that's hard to play with, but you get through it because you're a team. And they showed they could do that. And the other weird thing is, if Scottie had such a big problem with Jordan, why did he want him back in 95? Why was he wearing Jordan's shoe and pointing to Jordan to come back? You know, if you have such an issue, I wouldn't want you back. But, you know, I mean, I'm sure they'll make some money from it. I'm sure there'll probably be some interesting stories, but I just think it's something weird that they trying to do.
Yeah, I'll say this and I'll finish that topic. They better make it some kind of interesting, man. There better be some entertainment value. Something's gotta hit, because you can't do this and it totally fail, because at that point, if this fails, nobody's going to take anything they say seriously ever.